Hey.
Hello.
I can't wait for this. So tonight, I'm joined by the lovely VTR and the lovely Scuba Pete to talk about their... It was funny that because I didn't realise that it was actually called... Skeletron had called it the Roboskull. I thought they'd called it something else. And I remember getting in touch with you, Scuba, and saying, what's he actually called this? I know it was like... I remember the Mark II. But yeah, Roboskull Mark II, which is awesome. But thanks for coming in, and this is going to be brilliant. So we got Wizzy here, Mrs. Scuba Pete, and everyone's saying I'm making sure that Leslie's all right. Look at that. So Kieran's here.
She's much better.
Our Des travels with Jason. We've got quite a few people here already. Smith Lord's here, but I'm not putting these. We read.
Oh, go on, Shabby. Go on.
Absolutely. Thanks, VTR. Thanks. Jono's here. Gerard's here. Absolutely brilliant. Keith Knight's here. Wow. George. I was just saying about you, George. Wonder if George will be in. George. Because I'm sure. Did George get one of these too?
I don't know.
I'm sure he did.
Like, I thought he said 2.
At least 5.
George, put it in the chat. How many do you have? Like Baker's dozen?
Hey, TJC. Hey, Coxie. Hey, James. Wow, man. Wow.
It's Monday night.
So everyone's here and everyone's sorted. So let's talk about this. So the first thing I want to do is put this up right here. Let's have a look. There it is. So this is the original one. This is what we had as kids and so forth. So would you class this, Scuba and Dave, as an iconic ship?
Definitely.
Of course.
Yeah, that's Holy Grail territory right there. If you're an Action Force collector.
Yeah, and especially if you're American as well, it seems to be.
It has even more of that spicy allure.
So this was never introduced in the States ever.
Nope.
Wow. Yeah, so this was just classed as an Action Force then, because the reason I ask is because what I've been learning and what you've been telling me over the past few years, that Joe's and Action Force more or less melded into one thing. So I wonder why G.I. Joe never took this on.
Well, this is earlier, right? This is fairly well. So Action Force came out, when was it? Early 80s, right? 82, something like that.
82.
And it first came out with the Series 1, which was basically shrunk down action, the sort of best-selling or favorite Action Man outfits. So you had the deep sea diver and the commando and all that kind of stuff. And then there was like 3 vehicles that came with that Series 1, which I think came. I'm not sure who designed those, but I think that was an external company that designed those original Action Force vehicles. And then they came out with Series 2,
right,
which was basically the 5 teams. So you've got your Q Force, which Scuba loves the Q Force. Your Z Force and on all the other teams. The SAS, that's right. And but there was one enemy team, otherwise known as the Red Shadows, and so the enemy team obviously has some classic characters in there. You got you have the Kraken. I've got a Kraken here. You have the
he's
Kraken.
So good.
Yeah, that's one of Bob Breakin's designs.
Yep.
And then you've got Skeletron as well, which obviously that name may become familiar as we go through the stream. And there's a few vehicles in there as well. There's the Hyena, which is the red variant of what's the one called in
his tank.
His tank. That's it. Thank you very much. Which also came with so there was a start of a meld there, right, with G.I. Joe, because that Hyena came with an O-ring figure basically for in Action Force, which was probably one of the first O-ring figures that appeared. Prior to that, it was all just sort of standard 5 POA, like the old Star Wars figures.
And that was a Destro figure to us.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And of course, this thing came out. I think it was around 83 or 84. The Roboskull, which is another of Bob Breakin's designs, and at the time, I guess it was just another vehicle, a cool looking vehicle, because It's got a skull. I mean, who doesn't love a skull, right?
Not the love.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like a TIE fighter. I mean, who doesn't love a TIE fighter as well, right? It's a skull version of a TIE fighter, and with that awesome color scheme of red and black. So yeah, I mean, at the time, I don't know, I think it was probably about 12, 14 pounds here in the UK. And obviously this is all kind of, you know, sort of born in the heart of the UK, right? It's Palitoy's invention.
Right.
I think it did get sold maybe in a few other European countries. Somebody will have to correct me on that, but predominantly in the UK.
Yeah, I think you got it in Europe, and that was it. I don't think it did like Italy and.
Yeah,
I know Spain were big fans of Action Force, weren't they? The Spanish, there was a few Spanish. I remember watching years ago, and one of their fans had it, if you will. Had a few of them. I'm just surprised though, because to me, this is what sums up 80s toys for me. I mean, it's just get a skull, make a ship out of it, and this is. I think this is the reason why. This is what I mean, Scoobs, and this is why why we love this decade, and why even now, 2025, we're still buying 80s toys, if you will. So I'm just surprised that Joe didn't take this on. So basically, how did you get wind of this, Scuba? How did you know about this?
I learned about it from Tony at Analog Toys. He's responsible for my my Action Force addiction, and Dave is somewhat to blame for feeding that addiction, along with George Aiken and Carol and Gary Atkins. Yeah, those guys have, and Stu, they've all helped me build my collection of Action Force over the years. But initially introduced to it from Analog Toys videos where he was doing all the teams.
And would this been something you'd have loved as a kid, Scoobs? Because I mean, you got into it. It's like me now. When you lot show me your Joe stuff, the first thing I think of is, oh man, if I was a kid, I'd have loved all the like the rolling headquarters, and do you know what I mean? And I'd have loved it all. So so that's where your love came from, or in other words, would you say, Dave, this was more of a nostalgia piece for you, or would you say? And different than yours, Pete, because there's not much nostalgia for you for this, is there? It's just a cool ship,
right?
Well, I never had the Roboskull as a kid. I do remember having a number of the Series 1 figures, and I think I had some of the enemy team and some of the the Z Force and that the sort of classic army stuff, right? My dad was heavily into sort of war films and World War II and stuff, so we were always getting army related toys, which is why we had an Action Man lying around and what have you. Right. But I never had the Roboskull, not as a kid. I'm trying to think if I even remember it as a kid. I'm not sure I do. I think I probably became more familiar with it as an adult. But
I can't imagine like going into a mom and pop toy shop over there and just seeing that box, like what? As a little 10-year-old, like,
I always see these at conventions, when I'm especially watching you British lads, but is it rare that these are boxed anymore? Are the boxes very rare for this?
Yeah, they're a little tricky to find. I do, I've looked into a box that I purchased from Gary, and then I actually had Bob, I took it to Joe Fest and had Bob sign the box, which was
very
cool.
Nice. That is cool. Yeah, you do see them at the UK toy shows every now and then, and honestly, they don't sell because I think they're probably slightly overpriced at toy fairs. If you're going to buy one of these, you buy them from the likes of Gary. Gary seems, I don't know if Gary's got any more now.
What are they going for if you see them like at Sandown? Are they pushing quid?
No, it's not that much, but you'll see them in the range of 500, maybe 450 if you're lucky. Whereas I reckon
is that loose? Is that loose or box?
Yeah, loose without the box.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I don't know how much they go for in the box, is it $1,000 or more? I don't know. I've not seen one for sale for a while.
Yeah, I don't
know. But if you're buying, off of let's say the Action Force Facebook group, you're probably looking at $350. I think that's probably a good price. Yeah.
And is that to be complete as well?
Yeah, for complete. Yeah.
Jonathan,
and you've got to be careful.
Jonathan asked, did any of the other Palitoy vehicle designs like the Sea Line and the Triad Fighter even make it to G.I. Joe line proper?
No.
Never. Those two, nope, neither one made it over here, which are wicked cool space. And of course, the sea lion with Q Force, I love it. I have it.
Of course you do, Scuba. Of course you do.
Right, but like George, because he's here, George has like 27 of them, and he's actually helped me complete mine.
He loves it though, doesn't he, George? I mean, I had Action Force as a kid, but as I was putting these pictures together and so forth, I was thinking to myself, did I have the Robo? We must have had the Roboskull. We must. Our size in the chat, so our size remind me or not. But I think it was for me. Action Force was at the end of Star Wars for me, basically. I'll get a couple of these, and we had the Red Shadow figures, and I don't really remember much of the names. I always like the guy with the red cap and the black outfit. He was it. Not the actual Iron Blood one, the white one with the black.
The Baron Iron Blood.
I just thought they were cool figures. They really were. But Q Force, I do remember, but I wasn't a massive collector of Action Force, if you will. But I remember the guy at Joe Fest who does the conventions over there, Pete. You'd met him before. And there was a guy at Joe Fest, and the response was massive. But I thought his prices were awesome over there as well, because he was selling like loose figures for $5-10. They weren't expensive.
Yeah, I remember talking to him at the NEC, and he was saying that he was going to be at Joe Fest, and I said, fill every suitcase you have with whatever you have, because it will sell. And he still, like, he had very nice prices at NEC, and he kept it up in the, we had the US equivalent, in dollar. I was like, wow, that was amazing to see, because typically if you see it, it's like, oh, it's a Kraken. This is from England. He doesn't have his gun or his net, but he's still $80 because he's the Kraken. And somebody will be like, wow, I've never seen that. Okay, I'm buying it, and have no idea that you can go to the UK and pick that up for, 30 quid complete.
Back in the day, I'd refused to buy Action Force because they had shrunk my beloved Action Man and really pissed me off. But I suppose that's the same as the G.I. Joe 12-inch line to 3/3/4 inch. It's a completely different line, if you will. They don't look anything like them, really, do they? You know what I mean? It's like,
and you know what? I absolutely love those Series 1 Action Force figures. They are shrunk down Action Man, but they're only 5 points of articulation. So when you actually look at them, they're really detailed. If you look at like the Commander and stuff, they're awesome looking.
Yeah, the sculpting.
Cool. I love them. I love those guys.
But you can blame the oil crisis on shrinking everything down. That's why they went from 12 to 3 and 3.
Was it that, or was it the fact that Star Wars had kicked off so well that they all made them smaller?
Well, that was part of it too. I mean, it was cheaper to manufacture with less plastic, because that shit's getting expensive.
Because I used to love the 12-inch Action Man, and we had like the tank and the sidecar and the, you know what I mean, and the Jeep. But these things were they weren't small toys. They were huge, absolutely huge.
Dave, is it? I mean, I've gotten a taste of it over there. I think like the 12-inch Action Man collector and the Action Force collectors, I think they meld together better than we do in the States. There is a huge disconnect that I've witnessed firsthand here.
I remember you saying,
12-inch G.I. Joe and a Real American Hero 3 3/4, and it's almost a like, well, you either do that or you do that. I mean, I like to mash it up. I've got a little bit of all of it now, but wholesale though, just at a local convention, is very divided.
Yeah. Well, I find that
very strange.
Really. Yeah. Well, you get some people like that in the Star Wars, don't you? They like vintage collection, but they don't like the Black Series and all that sort of stuff. And that's never bothered me. But have you ever heard of something like that, Dave?
No, I think in the Action Man and Action Force world, it was a continuation, really. If you look at the early Action Force cards, they were branded with Action Man. Mm-hmm. So it's a continuation.
That's why I had the Action Man logo on the card.
Yeah, that's right.
David? Yeah.
And as I say, the first figures were the beloved, Action Man outfits.
Yeah, the top sellers.
Yeah, so I think it's not quite as jarring because I don't, and also the timeline. I think Action Man kind of stopped, and then Action Force went on basically from there. I don't know if that happened with G.I. Joe. I don't know if there was a break between the 12-inch and then the 3 3/4-inch. Yeah.
So would you say 12-inch Joe's was more like a 60s line, wasn't it? Going into 70s.
60s, 70s.
Yeah. Coxie said, I had 2 Action Force figures as a kid. I've still got both, complete, and the card backs too, but I was way too heavily invested in Star Wars. I think it was an aunt that bought me for him. I'm more or less on the same lines as Coxie. I remember having Action Force, I do. But if you talked about my memory of having Star Wars figures, I could go on for a week. If you talked on my memories of having Action Force, I'd be like, I'd have to think about it, So,
like G.I. Joe filled that Star Wars drought after Empire. So Empire's 1980, and then as kids, who knows? Is there going to be a third movie? It's not like having the internet and sources close to say that George Lucas is working on a third film. Like
I understand.
You had no idea. You were just like, okay, all I know is Empire Strikes Back figures, and it'd be great. I love this. It's one my, this movie was awesome.
Yeah.
But there's not anything else coming out for it yet. And then here in 1982, it's 3 3/4-inch G.I. Joe, and you just like all in. And that's why I think for me, Jedi figures, I'm like, I didn't have any of those.
I'm the same with droids and Ewoks. We get some lads in here that go mad for it. I don't remember having any of them as a kid. I don't even remember them in the stores, to be honest, droids and Ewoks. And, what was that, 85, 86? I've been a 10, 11. So it's not as if I was still banging into toys. But I think I moved on from that to like Brave Star and Visionaries and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I can't really remember the droids and Ewoks. But looking back now, would you two both say the 3 3/4-inch for the Action Force line and maybe the Joe line is more sought after than the 12-inch Action Man or G.I. Joe?
Well, I mean, for our generation, because it is our generation.
Right? Our generation.
I would say that 12-inch is probably maybe slightly maybe it's a decade earlier, right? So, but they're still very sought after. There's no doubt about it. And
what used to be in bins underneath is now back up top. Yeah. With high price, that's
good point.
And the weird thing is though, right? The Action Force in particular, I would say for a long, long time, the collectors of Action Force were sort of in the know. It's like they were the guys that probably were just well into Action Force as kids. So they were collecting, and then you got people like George, right, who's building up armies because back in the day, I don't think they were all that expensive to buy and find, right? The Action Force stuff. I mean, I remember going to toy fairs and seeing carded Action Force figures sat there on the table for $5, and I'd look at them and go, "Well, that car's not very interesting, is it?" And then walk on. It's and now, 10 years later, everybody wants some Action Force. In particular, people from abroad. And I keep.
Well, let me ask you then, Dave. What made you get back into Action Force then?
Well, it's the community, right? And it only takes a few prominent YouTubers to highlight again, the line, and everyone goes, "Oh yeah, actually that's pretty cool." And it just builds and builds. And I think, especially in America, right, it seems to have really picked up pace. And I always joke with Scuba. I always tell him, "Stop stealing our Palatoy."
Stop stealing our Palatoy. I'm into export.
There's only so much of it. There's only so much of it. We're small islands. We didn't produce that much.
But they do go mad for it over here, don't they? I noticed at Joe Fest as well, the amount of people with Action Force T-shirts on and talking about Action Force and this and
just
that.
Walking around with that vintage Roboskull box that day.
Right.
I don't know how many times I got stopped where people were like, "Where did you buy that?" And I said, I didn't. I brought it. Where they're like, "How much you want for it?" And I'm like, it's not for sale.
Jason says, I had it as a kid, but I bought mine as a bolt. Is that a bolt fair for 20p probably? And it was missing the bits. Funny thing is, and now I got the same one missing parts that I had as a kid. You were saying this to me before when I was talking about the original Roboskull. That is it the parts that are hard to get hold of? I mean,
yeah, I just so happened I've made one earlier.
oh, professionals on
Presto, the magic
So,
of
these are, yeah, so you can find the skull and maybe the wings fairly easily, but all these other parts come off basically. They're all detachable. So all the feet here, the rockets, they're all independent. These cannons here are independent. The eye cannons, which we'll see on the Mark II, you'll see what they look like now. These are often missing, but more than that, those tips are broken. So trying to find those unbroken is quite tricky. All the doors and stuff and latches, obviously they open up. So these can be missing as well. There's another hatch at the back as well. So all these parts, you've got to basically find. So yeah, the red kind of shields there on the wings, they also come off as well. So
Dave,
yeah,
that
it's
looks brand new. That looks brand new.
This is a Gary. This is from Gary a while back. And yeah, he did me a very nice deal on that. And not only that, when he sent the package, and you've got a package from Gary because it will be smothered. I mean, every inch of the box is smothered in brown tape, like 5 times over.
Yeah.
He must use like four reels of brown tape on everything he sends out.
It will float if it was dropped.
Yeah. So you're spending an hour just getting into the box.
It's a cool vehicle, I mean, I think it's one of those things, whether you're into Action Force or not, as toy collectors, I think that's why we do it, don't we? We watch each other's videos, we admire what other people collect, and you look at that thing and you just think, that's ridiculous. Desi said if it wasn't for Star Wars, I'd have been all over it. I think that's what it was. To me, it was like you're having your Buck Rogers figures and your Battlestar Galactica and your Star Trek, everything molded in together. When we were kids, it wasn't, well, I can't play with my Action Force with my Star Wars. Everyone was thrown in, weren't they? And I had the 18 van as a kid, and I remember Luke Skywalker drove it. And
nice.
Everybody drove it. You know what I mean? Everybody except for BA.
Mr. T's hanging out with the Ewok.
This is what I mean. And so I just love that sort of stuff. But yeah, how Gary Moore gets to me, especially like that, it's a bit. You can see, can't you? But anyway, 2 years ago, me and Scuba went to Joe Fest. So this is Joe Fest of 2023, and I saw this right here. Now I'd heard on the makings, and I'd heard, people were doing all this, but this is the first time I'd ever seen this. And I just thought, look at this thing. This is unbelievable. So this is the actual new one, right, Dave and Scoobs? This is the actual Mark II.
Yeah, so that's a prototype that they're showing off 2 years ago,
Right. So is this when so we'll go through the crowdfund and what they did, but is this when the crowdfund was up and running, or was this just before the crowdfund was up and running?
No, it was after. Yeah.
This was after.
Yeah, I looked up my Kickstarter pledge. It was 3 years ago.
Yep. 3 years ago, November 2024.
Yeah.
And this is a company out of Minnesota, is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Oh yeah. That's just Minnesota.
Absolutely ridiculous. So tell me about it then. So how did you get wind of this, and did you know immediately that you were going to do it?
Yeah. I got wind of it because they were bringing it over for one of the toy fairs in England, and I saw it, and they were showing it off for the first time. What's the roll call? Isn't that what it is? What's it? That fair called?
Yeah, the one down in the southwest, the small village hall. Yeah, that's rollout.
Yeah,
rollout. And so they had brought it over from the States for that, and I was like, I want that.
Ridiculous, absolutely beautiful. So it was a crowdfund, and what did you have to? How much was it at the start, boys?
$260. Yeah, US.
Yeah, which compared to some Kickstarters and HasLabs and stuff, I thought that was a pretty reasonable price.
Very reasonable. And to that point, you can buy a Roboskull today if you wish, if you're tempted.
I think I was surprised by was the size of it, because, like I said, my recollection of having one is, and my mum's and our side saying, right here, sat here with Anne-Marie Shabs, both saying we don't have any memory. It's one of those toys. You know, it's funny that, because I watch especially your videos, BTR, when you'll go to these British toy fairs and there'll be something in your video, I'll go, oh my, like one of kind of things, you know what I mean? Which spark back a memory. But this one, I can't, and obviously our side doesn't know either if I have it or not, but I couldn't get over. I do remember, because I think I asked you, Scuba, the size of it, the original one. It's about the size of a Star Wars TIE fighter. I mean, it's more or less that type of size.
Yeah, it's very much in that kind of fleet size, if you will. The modern one, the one that we're going to be putting it together today, it is massive. I remember Carol showing me pictures that Brian Hickey shot on a flag deck of the Roboskull Mark II, and I'm like, oh my god, it's massive. It's like three times the size.
Oh, there we go. Brilliant. Oh, look at this. This is awesome. So yeah, more or less the same type of size.
Yeah, kind of the same. There's your TIE fighter, there's your Roboskull. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit, maybe a little bit bigger, but yeah, it's roughly in that sort of ballpark, isn't it?
And the cool thing is the wings on the Roboskull, both the vintage and the modern, rotate for flight, which is neat.
And this one does the same thing, so it rotates as well and so forth. Right? Yep. Did it rotate like the B-wing cockpit? Did it have that kind of rotate? Or did
no, it just literally clicked, like
you clicked it, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Socket.
Unbelievable. So Carol's here. So we've got Dragon Reborn here.
There you go. Say his name, he appears.
G4 says, as soon as it comes up, I have both 12-inch and I can't read that.
Real American Hero.
Thank you. But we all know the load scale is 3.75. Sorry, Pete, you can only do one thing or another. Gonna have to get rid of
right, Matt. You're just gonna. It's one too many.
But I agree with BTR. Then, if we were gonna do that, our generation is 3.75. In it, it is.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have to be that in it. To tell you the truth, Pod Racing Palpatine's here. APD's here. Wow, that's a weird way of saying 6-inch G-force. Here we go. So Action Force figures' faces were also based. They were. That's a good point. They were. They had the same sort of mold. G.I. Joe didn't, did it, Pete? They didn't look like that. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a good memory. You're right. Not so long ago, car boots, flea markets, and charity shops were full of cheap Action Force. I remember seeing a stack full of Roboskulls at a flea market, and they were $3 each for them. Do you know what, Scuba and VTR? That's probably why I've got the vintage Star Wars collection I have, because I got it all. Some of it as kids, obviously, but I got all before it really hard. Now I'm picking up things like, Slave One for 15 quid and that kind of thing, So I agree with that. Sometimes something just sparks, doesn't it? And you get in before it just sparks. So would you say Action Force has gone up then, Dave, ever since the Renaissance with this and all the American?
No doubt about it. It's seen as one of those lines that's actually quite desirable now by many different types of collectors, even if they're not collecting the whole line. They'll look at one of those teams, right? And I think the enemy team is probably the team that most people want to go for, because I have a feeling, right, that back in the day, Bob Breakin just thought, you know what, we need an enemy. I'm just going to have fun with this. Yeah, because why why would you have a Kraken? Yeah, you got a Kraken for God's sake.
Bring the Kraken's face all the way up, Dave, to the camera, because he's just.
Is it focusing?
Yeah.
There you go.
Got it.
There you go.
I mean, he's such a derpy face.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Bob was having fun, right? And the skeleton, got Skeletron and Red Wolf and all those. He was having fun with that line. There's no doubt about it. So even if you're not collecting the whole line, there's certain areas of the line that people are just going mad for, I think, in these days, especially now, with the Mark II, that also feeds into it, because there's going to be a whole load of people who have never heard of Action Force before, seen this Mark II and gone, that's pretty awesome. If you look at all the YouTube videos, quite a number of prominent YouTubers saying my toy of the year for 2024 was the Mark II Roboskull. I think Pixel Dan has said that, and a few others. So there's going to be a whole load of people out there who may not even be into vintage at all, going, what is this Roboskull? And then going, hey, I want to get one of the originals. as well.
Well, that's how it's based on, isn't it? Because the next response is, well, it's based on the Palatoy 1980s.
Yeah.
And it's funny you should say that as well about Bob Breakin, and I appreciate that. And I think that's what's lacking. Me being more of a modern version collector is I used to love that about 80s toys. You know, you look at Lionel's Dragon, Thunder Lair with a big cat on it, and Thunder Tanks and Castle Grayskull, a school with its. That's kind of lacking now in toys, I think, where they don't think outside the box and they go, right, well, let's go all out here and do something there. So
it's all about safe bets, and
it is, yeah. Let's have a look. Keith, have you done any custom action figures? So Keith says right here, I had some Action Force figures, no vehicles. My main toy line was Action Man and still is. Which, listen, I admire Action Man completely. Let's hope that happens with the Power of the Force 2 figures as well.
I think that ship has sailed, as I say.
Do you know which way to the Galactic Gym?
APD says his son has just found an SAS figure and 2 Z-Force figures and an ATC for £5 a while back at a car boot. Wow. Little Git wouldn't let me have him. The skeleton always reminded me of the Action Man Space Pirate Leader.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they haven't just done this ship. They've done a line of figures as well to go with it and so forth, haven't they?
Yeah, it's the enemy team. So you've got a bunch of characters and vehicles in each of the teams. So the Z-Force team, Q-Force, SAS, they all sort of follow the same pattern. Some really cool looking vehicles, great figures, all with their own distinct styling. You know, SAS is obviously in black and yellow. Q-Force is in, is it the grey, yellow, and blue? I think.
Yeah,
and then,
that's right. Yeah.
Your Z-Force is in the classic green and that. So I'm trying to remember the other team. Who's the other team?
Space Force.
Space Force, of course, yeah. There's Space Commander and all of that, yeah. And so they've all got their own like distinct flavor about them, which is what I think's really cool about Action Force.
Was it a massive line? I can't really remember, David. Was it a huge line, Action Force, or not?
I wouldn't say a huge line, but it has enough in it to keep you. You know, if you're a collector of it, it's going to keep you going for a while. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Some of the that sea line is pretty hard to get hold of, and some of those things are not easy anymore.
A lot of the little bits, the machetes, and
all those little those machetes, just those little brown machetes for Series 1. Pain in the ass, those, I can tell you. And the little aerials for the vehicles, if you want the originals,
so you're looking at the same thing that you've all learnt me about, Joe. It's all right getting the figures, whatever, but it's getting all the little accessories and this and that to go with it.
Often, yep.
I remember Analog Toys. Do you remember? He was made up because he'd found a bunch of carded Action Force at Joe Fest, and he couldn't believe the prices and how cheap they were. So he bought them up. I think him and the Valaverse lad bought them all. Yeah, they bought them all. But he was made up. And his answer, Dave, was basically what you just said. Oh, yeah, because now I'm the carded, there's certain accessories and so forth that I've got now that I didn't have before. So
I bought a carded figure at Adam's, Adam Berry's toy fair that he did in Southend-on-Sea.
Yeah.
Even though, relatively small compared to some of the others, but still packed with amazing goodies. And I picked up a carded Series 1 Action Force. And the reason I picked it up is because it had the brown machete in there.
Nice. What are you looking for? I mean, you don't have to tell me what you paid for it, David, but what were you looking for carded Action Force figures now?
Oh, it varies. If you want a Muton on card, is everywhere. So you're looking at £20 for that.
So he's your General Madine, basically.
He's everywhere. But you can be paying like the is it the Desert Rats? What was the one that you found recently, Series 1 on card? Those go for hundreds.
Desert Rat, Australian Jungle Fighter.
Jungle Fighter. Yeah. So and I'm sure there's other carded figures in the line as well that are pretty hard to find. So it varies a lot, and obviously some of those vehicles are going to be well into the high hundreds as well. So
and then in the States, just take Dave's numbers and like triple it.
You've just answered my question. That's what I was going to ask you. I mean, so in other words, would you say then, Scuba, that these English lads know that the Americans want them, so they'll charge them a bit more for them, or is it just?
Well, it's not so much like UK sellers per se. It's more like somebody who's like done like we've done and went over and like filled your boots, come back here, and then you put your carded and your sea lion and whatever, and you pretty much name your price.
Yeah.
There will be somebody out there that's like, I'm having that. You know, there's up in Xenia, Ohio, they had a vintage Roboskull, and I think it was $900, and it was there for maybe a month, gone, sold.
So they do sell then. That's the thing.
And then carded like Z-Force, Mouton, you know, they were like 75 US, 80 US.
So Americans are going to do it because basically it was never sold over here. So they're like, if I don't get it now, even if it's a bit more, a bit less, they're never. Do you think they have that sort of mindset?
Like we were saying earlier, you know, unless you're fortunate enough to know people in the UK that are friends and are generous with their offers, it can be a very expensive thing for an American. I mean, you pull up eBay or really even like Boone's Art. Boone's Art's a good source for picking up Action Force stuff, but you know, it won't be eBay price, but you're gonna pay for it. You know,
even from Boone's Art, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, and it's the, you know, with shipping and the currency conversion. And
just the shipping that gets you in it, to tell you the truth.
And actually, you know what, Shabby, I forgot that, of course, after Series 2, you then get all the, you do get that merge, right, between G.I. Joe and Action Force. So it is quite extensive, actually. It does go
86,
on.
87, you know,
and it's like I said, I'm fascinated by it because I never ever. I remember Action Force, but you've heard me say this over the years. I have no recollection of G.I. Joe as kids at all. And then the more that I've seen G.I. Joe stuff over here, lads, the more I've gone, I remember that in Action Force. So I remember that. And then obviously talking to the American lads about Joes, you know, your Scubas, your Barkers or whatever, your G-Forces, then you realise half this stuff was done. So it just fascinates me how the Roboskull was never done, because if you had to ask me just my opinion, I would say the most iconic thing from Action Force is the Roboskull. It's the one that we're most sought after. And would you say for Americans, that's out of the Action Force line, Pete, that's the one you want? It's the Roboskull.
Oh, I think that's definitely the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
For your collection, yeah.
Amazing.
You know, it's like the Palatoy Death Star.
Good point. Good point, Pete. Yeah, and yet you lot go mad about that cardboard one we have. Yet if I was a kid, I'd prefer the American one.
Right, yeah. You always want what you don't have.
I ain't got no time for cardboard.
We got that, and they got this. You know, yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah, you lot are like, I smashed ours like the second day after Christmas.
We had it, and it lasted. Like I said, it lasted about 5 minutes. You know, 3-4 brothers all fine on Christmas Day. That thing's not going to last 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
But you talk about Shabby. You talk about why didn't they bring them into the G.I. Joe? But you have to remember at that point, right? Palatoy is being shut down. Right? It's not that long after it's gone. So I think
they're getting they're purchased.
Yeah.
3 times
over.
Line
that did well, then, do you think? Because whoever took it over, or whatever. My point is, Action Force was never taken on again. Star Wars has been done how many times? Joe's been done how many times? You know what I mean? Where they've left it for a few years, brought it back, but Action Force never did it? It was just a one-off line, if you will, and they, or did it ever make a comeback?
There's Action Force 12-inch stuff that Hasbro did later. I think that was early 2000s or late 90s.
Right.
I want to say.
I remember the Action Man they brought back, and I remember the Bond ones they did as well.
I guess that's what I'm thinking of as the Action Man as the.
But that's all. I think that's all under the banner of Action Man rather than Action Force. I think, yeah.
But it's just Hasbro sitting on the brand and not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
Wow. Can I just say as well before we go on, there's 45 people in the chat, so that's awesome. Thank you all so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Geek Strong said, I am definitely more interested in 12-inch G.I. Joe Action Adventure Team and Super Joe line like, I can't read that, Pete. Is it?
That's cool.
Thank you. I never collected the 3C Quart line, even though I still purchase toys. Wow,
that Dino has good taste, doesn't he?
Well,
that's a hard line to get, that Super Joe line.
Is it? Yep. Well, we might as well end the stream now, because Carol says Palatoy Action Force is the best toy line ever. It's the best one.
I mean, even when you see things that, like the G.I. Joe headquarters, the big gray long headquarters, and what Palatoy did with that for Z Force, up here with the camo pattern, and they went nuts with the stickers. I mean, it's basically the same mold, but what they did was just like plus the hell out of it. And they did that with all the things that they may have borrowed, under agreement with Hasbro.
Yeah.
But it was just, I mean, they made it kick ass. And then on top of, Bob, crafting this Roboskull from scratch. And he addressed at Joe Fest, if you remember, because to the uninitiated, you just go, somebody just took a TIE fighter and, stuck some clay on it, and now it's the Roboskull. And so
they all did that though, basically, didn't they? I remember He-Man when they got loads of Star Wars figures and clayed them all and stuck bits.
Oh yeah,
on
the prototype
kind of thing. Yeah, I find it fun. I love this stuff.
But Bob addressed that. He's like, I didn't take a TIE fighter and do that. I sat down and just started sketching. And he's like, the proportions, yes, it is similar in how it flies, but that's
I wonder if Grayskull itself has anything to do with it, because you look at Castle Grayskull with the skull on it, and that was obviously about a year. When was the Roboskull, lads? 83.
84, I think it was. Yeah.
So Grayskull was 82. So maybe what I mean. Maybe
we're boys. Anything Scully,
Yeah, exactly.
Iron Matey.
Yeah, I'm sure, exactly. of course, as a designer, like anyone who's designing anything today or creative, they're going to be influenced, right, by other things. And I truly believe that Bob will have sat down and thought about that in his own world, right? I don't think he was copying anything, whatever. He would have been trying to be creative there.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, that reminds me. So this Thursday is the Vectis auction.
Right,
which has Bob Reekin's collection in there, or some of his collection that he's auctioning off.
Mm-hmm.
And there's quite a number of prototypes, Action Force prototypes in that auction. So some of them are prototypes that would have been at the on display at the Toy Fair in '82.
Yes, sir.
And so figures that today that everybody has plastic versions of. But there were also some prototypes that were never released, and one that comes to mind, and this is what makes me think Bob was just having fun at that point. These two for the enemy team. So Bob was thinking, what would Baron Ironblood do to get more enemies? And he thought, well, what if Baron Ironblood had a time machine and went back to sort of prehistoric ages? And so he's got these two prototypes of like these prehistoric guys, but with one eye. So they're like prehistoric Cyclops, basically.
Uh-huh.
And there's two of these prototypes, and they would have been part of the enemy team, I guess. So
I think that's a fair assumption. There's some really cool stuff.
Yeah, so I think he was just having they were just having fun. I think at that point.
Is there anything you've got your eye on at this auction, Dave? Is there anything?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
me and thousands of others are all going to be bidding on these. Right.
What is it? What
already
which is
pre-bid on it?
Yeah, Which is the one that you got your eye on, Dave? Which one is it?
Well, that what I've just talked about might have given a clue away.
Yeah, because they
are. I'm not saying just in case anybody else in the chat
knows. I think the cat is out of the bag. I think everybody knows what's being sold. So
it's just it's amazing, and that, I'm trying to as well talking about the Roboskull. I'm trying to think of any other vehicle that looks. It's a one-off, isn't it? There's nothing that looks like it. Nothing, And there's been so many lines. No, I can't. Can you think of anything that looks like a Roboskull?
No, I'm thinking, like Inhumanoids and Dungeons and Dragons, and it's like, nope.
Hey, Gups. So Gups says, does it all three? Well, we're going to have a look at it because Dave's, obviously we've all watched Dave's video, and Dave's opened this, but Scuba, you've not got round to opening yours yet.
No, I've been tardy with mine.
Well, anyway, before we get, and that's what Dave said. Dave was like, "What? He hasn't opened it yet."
Can I just say,
Shabby?
Can I just say that? So I put my pledge in 3 years ago. Now, unlike you two, I had never actually seen the Mark II in person until I put mine together. I had no idea how big it was going to be or what it was going to really look like. I mean, I've seen pictures, but never actually seen one in person. So that was the first time.
You sleep next to it now, don't you?
PCB's not happening. We moved that thing. Yeah.
Not going to reveal it. Let you, Scuba. You can reveal it when you're unboxing it.
Well, before we unbox it, and it's going back to the crowdfunding and so forth. Now, this has taken some time, hasn't it? Let's be honest. This is, because I've Scuba's headlining towards the Skeletons every time we've gone to Joe. I said, "Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet?" So, how long did it actually take from you're ordering this to actually getting it?
It was 3 years and almost a month.
Yeah. 3 years and a month.
3 years, 1 month, 2 days, 14 hours.
Yeah. It was honestly, you would get updates. They were good with updates, but you would just be sad after you got the update because you knew it was just going to be another delay. Be it, it's Chinese New Year, or we didn't like the initial mold on the skull, so we're sharpening that, and so you're reading these and you're just like, oh damn it.
However, the silver lining there is that they were releasing things. So they were releasing figures
right
during that 3-year period. They also released the you'll see them,
drones.
The little Skeletron'S on card, and there were a few other things. There's I picked up a 7-inch vinyl and stuff like that they produced. And
the record.
Yeah, the record. Yeah. So when those cards arrived,
right,
it was like, okay, I trust these guys because those things are really, really high quality. I mean, the cards and those figures are just spot on. The artwork's spot on. So you'll see that when Scuba's doing it. So it wasn't like some other things that I've invested in, like the Bantha.
Right. Yes. That you were like, well, there's money gone.
Yeah, that's the money gone, bastards. So yeah, this one, you had you have some goods, and it's going to be high quality when it arrives. Yeah.
And they kept you informed as well, Pete, because that's one thing you always did say, Shabby. It's not as if we haven't heard anything. They always updated the stuff. They always explained to you what was going on and so forth. So, all right, well, we'll get to it. Let's hope that the wait this time is worth the wait. APD says, I remember bugging the hell out of Dave to buy the Action Force headquarters. He must have thought he's APD insisted to buy this for. Oh, what a lunch. Right, so
what a day. That was a great day.
There's the box. I've taken it out of the box because I didn't want to waste everybody's time. But it's kind of neat because it's got that dent there with the skull. That's making it very unique.
Wow.
And so, we saw this at Joe Fest, so we know what's coming. So it's just.
Now, the one I showed just then didn't have that yellow on it. Was that like an exclusive kind of thing? Or was
that's the SE version.
Right.
Is that the one you've gone for, Scuba? The SE?
Yes.
Ah, cool.
Yes,
did you go for one or two?
Just one.
Okay, cool. So I went for the standard.
Did you? Okay.
Cool.
That's right. Yeah. I'm thinking back on your video.
Was there a big price difference or?
Not a whole lot. I don't think it was, I don't know, maybe $30-40 or something.
Right, got you.
And I will say, so they shipped it in a box, in another box with plastic corner protection. That box I just showed you was inside, so 2 boxes. That box was wrapped in a plastic bag. And then obviously you're seeing the bits in the tray here. So the way they packaged it was top notch.
I was shipping for you, Dave, because obviously this was it more expensive shipping than it was for Pete, or?
I don't know, actually. I don't know if it's more expensive, but I mean, yeah, it was obviously there was a charge for the shipping. I can't remember how much it was, but it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, bearing in mind how much the Roboskull was, it wasn't too bad. My outer box did arrive, and I showed on the video. It had a few dents and punctured areas, and I was concerned. But as Scuba said, double wrapped. So the actual box itself is undamaged. And that, you know what? Every single thing that they've sent has come undamaged. No bend in the card. No problems or crushed bubbles or anything. Everything just comes spot on. I will give them credit for that.
Yeah, awesome. It's kind of nice to, and there's the carded figure in his own little, unlike.
So I know this thing because Gups asked before can hold 3 3/4 inch and 6 inch. Is that a 6 inch figure then, or is that
that's about a 4-inch?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me make you just a bit bigger for that one there, Scoobs. There you go. Wow.
Yep.
That's
so you
so
have
cool.
Red Weasel. But very cool.
Yeah.
And they've done several. Whoop.
Have you been getting the figures, by the way, you two? Are you something you're looking into? Or?
Here and there. Yeah. Definitely.
Matt's Collection said these Action Force figures remind me of the concepts that Kenner was coming up for post Power of the Force, Return of the Jedi. Sorry, anyone remember Mongo Beefhead?
Oh yeah, Mongo.
So which figures did you get, Scuba?
Oh, with the besides that's the Weasel, Red Weasel that came with it. But I've gotten the exclusives that they've had at Joe Fest. Last year.
Yeah, so Shabby, here's the difference between so they do 3 sizes. They've got a 3.75, which is that guy. That's 3.75.
Let's take a big sec. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then there's a 4-inch there. I mean, so as you can see the artwork and the cards. I mean, these are nice thick cards and they're really nice artwork on them.
I love the artwork. Yeah, that's really cool.
Now, I have to look it up, but apparently, actually, some of the artists are actually famous artists. I think one of them, oh crikey, the Action Force people are going to kill me because I can't remember the name. One of them was, I think, did artwork for kind of heavy metal albums and stuff like that. Yeah. So, really, I think he may have passed away as well recently.
It's got a bit of a Joe vibe, one of those cards as well, with the explosion look behind him. So that's pretty cool.
But yeah, the artwork just generally is awesome. Yeah, this one is kind of a bit
sir.
Joe-like,
yeah, like that. It's got like a Joey.
Yeah.
Well, it's got the Action Force look as well. The way it's like the plastic separated, like they did with the accessories and the figure. That's a cool card.
The sort of file cards on the back of them. Yeah.
Are you lads going to be keeping them closed? Card backs closed? Yeah.
Well, I've done so look, you know me, I'm vintage. I don't buy modern stuff normally.
Right.
Yes. So now I'm modern. Now I'm a modern collector. I've done what all of you modern guys do, and that's buy 2 of each.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So so it looks like it's coming in layers, this thing, Pete. So it's got layer 1, layer 2.
Yep. Definitely in layers.
It is cool. There we go. JT says, I think I had a few Action Force figures in a vehicle. To be fair, we were spoilt for toys. This is what I mean, JT. This is what me and Dave and Scoop were saying.
Yeah.
And I'd love that to come back. There's that big thing in why don't kids play with toys anymore? But one of the things is I think that they're not as spoilt as we all were. And I think companies were obviously in competition at the time with each other and wanted to outdo everybody else. And so the stuff we got was ridiculous, wasn't it, if you think about it? I use Connor Fuller as my name. All my childhood Action Force mysteriously vanished. Cheers, Mum. Oh, nightmare, did they? So what's that?
It's the death breath that comes with it.
Death breath.
Yeah.
Boonzot has a vintage Roboskull for sale at €1,000 currently. Wow.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well.
That's cool with the yellow accents. Nice.
So is that a stick or is that printed on the yellow?
That is painted on.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Man. That is impressive.
That's cool. And then of course you got the I assume.
Yeah, be careful there, Pete, because it is stiff.
That is stiff. Oof.
Yeah.
The old one, there was the Copic at the front and the back, wasn't there, David?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There's one. So if you look at Pete's hair, he's got that sort of the mohawk bit on top of his head. It's a pretty nice design. That's one cockpit piece there. Yeah.
That is a nice piece.
And there's the 6-inch cockpit. for your 6-inch figure.
So, oh, right. So you have to take them in and
out.
take them out, whichever one you want.
Yep.
Right.
Man. There we go. Woo.
Dave, I would love an Action Force cracking. Just saying.
Dino, we'll sort one out for you. No problem.
That looks super. Now that is cool. So you take the chair out and then you put.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can pull out that whole unit and replace it with the other. But right now it's out of the box. It's ready to go for 3 3/4, 4 inch.
And you can, how many 3 3/4 can you actually put in it? One at the front,
2.
one at the back. 2.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So you've got a pilot and the gunner. Because you've got, there you go, rear lasers. Because it's evil.
Channels with Jason wants to know. Scuba Pete, is that Coke Zero you're drinking by chance?
Why, yes, this stream is not brought to you by Coke Zero.
Sorry, Jason.
This is not water. This is gin.
I know what Dave's drinking. I got jealous as soon as I saw it.
Valaverse Action Force. I know it's name only, but they're keeping the name alive. Was there anything about this as well? Because I know Bobby Fowler did the Action Force line, but this. How did he get hold of to do this, lads? Do you know how Skeletron actually got to do the Roboskull? Was there a license he had to buy? That's what I'm saying, or something like that.
Do you know what, Shabby? I don't know. Because but Bobby, didn't Bobby buy the trademark or whatever it is for
I think
Action?
so.
Right.
Yes,
because it
the
was
name alone.
Yeah, because just the name, because it was somehow, lost, I guess, by Hasbro. They didn't keep it maintained.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they managed to produce this Roboskull. I assume they have to have worked with Hasbro on that.
Right. Okay. So Hasbro would have got rights for all the Palitoy stuff then.
I don't know. Bearing in mind that they didn't have the trademark for Action Force, I'm not sure what the situation.
Yeah, I don't know where they come up with it. So
yeah, this is the tricky part.
Gray area. Yes, this is. I remember your video, Dave, and I'm like,
yeah.
Now okay, I see. Yep.
Yeah, apparently it was supposed to be easy to know which one was left and right. I couldn't work out which one was left and right easily. He's got it.
Oh, what?
All right, and they are marked right and left, in the dark plastic. So I got my spectacles on because I'm old.
So can you just put that wing a bit closer, Pete, so we can see what's actually on that wing? That is super cool.
That's cool. I love it with the yellow accents. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so yours doesn't come with the yellow on it. So
so just to clarify, right? There are 2 versions of the Mark II. So they have a version which is kitted out just like the original. So it's pure red with the the sort of dark, smoky, transparent wings, and then they've got the SE, the special edition, which has all these yellow accents on there.
Super special.
Yeah, super special. And I think some of the what do you call those effect things? I'm not a modern collector. I don't know what the proper term is.
The paint apps.
They're different color effects on there.
Come on.
Sadly, Valaverse couldn't get the rights to the whole Action Force catalogue. That's why other companies are producing bits and bobs from Action Force. Right, okay. Jonathan says that's due to Hasbro screwing up and not renewing the trademark G-Force. Got it?
Yep, which is different than the actual, like, that's why Bobby can't make a Baron Ironblood.
Got you. Now I get it. Scoop. Well, there was the other one that does it as well. Is it Monster Force? They have a few.
Yeah,
because there's a few there, weren't they?
Around that with
right,
putting that face over in that package
and that one over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, that is. Look at the size of it.
I know it's massive.
It is ridiculous. I still don't know where I'm going to put my one.
You've got multiple choices for the eyes. So you've got like these green missile pods. I forget what they.
Si's not happy with the unboxing.
Do what?
Like, unboxing? This is terrifying.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. At least it
Oh,
arrived.
Yeah. So I don't know what the. Oh, I'm gonna go old school because
Right.
Yeah, go old school.
the cannons. You know,
Yeah.
that's where my heart lies.
What made you get it then, Dave? I mean, if you've got the original and it's pristine, what made you get a modern vehicle? Because I know it's not your wheelhouse, modern, but
No, it's an interesting question. Look, when I saw that, you know, Bob had kind of been involved in this as well, I just thought, you know what, this is. I want to help support these guys, so you know, I'm gonna pledge, and I'm glad I did because
opportunity.
yeah, I you know, I've backed a few Kickstarters, and the only one that's failed me is the Bantha.
right.
That's the only one, but
Yeah, that was terrible, though, wasn't it?
yeah,
Oof. Yeah.
nice. It's looking good with those yellow stripes. I love it. So yeah, it's kind. You know, I just thought it looked like it was going to be a really well done offering. So it's like, yeah, I'll put my money in. Let's see what happens. And I don't mind waiting the 3 years. I put the money in. You know, I know how long it takes to create these things and get them off the ground. So let them just do what they need to do. As long as they give updates and they are actually going to deliver and not run off with the money, I'm happy if they take their time. Yeah.
But where will it go in your room then? Because I know you said you don't know where to put it.
I don't know. I don't know. So this is the problem. I think I might dismantle it. It might have to go back in the box if I can dismantle it.
Dismantle?
Yeah. Well, this is my gripe, right? This is my gripe in the video. I said that you can't take the wings off, and it does say in instructions that this is a one-way street. You put the wings on, you don't take them off.
Oh, I wouldn't bother then, Dave.
Now, Skeletron actually responded to my video and said, well, you can take the wings off if you pull them carefully in the right direction and making sure that you're pulling at the right plastic. I had a go and it's like, no way. No,
for what I just did, there is not a chance I'm going to try to take that.
No, there is no way I'm going to pull these wings off. That something's going to snap. So
that's one of the things, though, because when I was putting the Eternia together, the big Eternia, it's like you take your time. Something that should take about an hour, so you take about years, because you don't want to break anything, do you? Over the simple reason you just can't replace it, you know. Now, what are they for like this then? What are they for like? What I meant to say is, if you do break something, can they replace it or whatever? Because I know they're still selling them now, aren't they? So
I would think that they'll be able to replace something, because, like you say, it's not like it's a Kickstarter. Once they're gone, they're gone. This is the thing about Skeletron. They are a company at the end of the day, which is why they're producing all these other things, and they are selling the Skeletron now. So they're still able to produce bits and pieces for it, of course. So I think if you break something, you're going to be able to get it.
I mean, after watching your video and seeing this stream, I wonder if there's any lads in the chat that didn't back it, are thinking, you know what, I think I might just get, because it's freaking awesome, isn't it? Look at it, it's just super cool. I don't know whether it's awesome simply because of the old school one, or the fact that it's a modern toy that looks like nothing else now, you know what I mean, in this era, if you will.
Oh, that one was not all the way in.
So actually, Scuba, before you put that in,
yes,
can you do a close up of the wing, the prongs that slide in? I don't know if we better see them. Yeah, it's a bit dark, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, if you look at the end of those prongs that slide in, do they look like they would slide back out again? I don't think they would.
They are not all that flexible. That is
no. I can't believe you could pull those back out.
No, that would make me very, very nervous. I think you would be gluing the next time you put your wings.
So what you're listening for? You're listening for a click for it to go in, or be careful.
Oh,
we saw what you did with those Eternia rails. You be careful, okay?
Right? Yeah.
The squeak rails around the world.
Have you got Roboskull insurance, Pete?
Right. Yeah. I talked to my agent before the stream.
Devo said he picked up 3-pack of the Skeletron's to go with his Cobra bats. Nice.
Yeah.
The Roboskull has because they have the smaller ones as well, don't they? And was that what Toy Connections was doing? A Mega J Retro and all that was the smaller version of these. Or was that Marauders, which is something different, Pete? Do you remember?
Are you talking about the drones?
The little one. They gave me a comic and they all signed the comic for me. Was that got something to do with this? I think it has, hasn't it? Or is that something completely different?
They, I believe, also did. Yeah, they've got a comic book.
Yeah.
You know, Dave's got the record. There we go.
Pinch the sides towards the front of the cockpit to open. Right. Okay.
There we go.
I can't.
Oh gosh, that still didn't go in there.
For the ladies.
This is the 7-inch vinyl that they produced. I haven't opened it, it's still in its plastic wrapping. So you've got on one side it looks like you have a wolf like me.
Yeah.
And then on the other side it's
there we go.
I get to drive it.
That's what she said.
Oh, love that artwork. That artwork's really cool.
Oh yeah, the artwork's awesome. I can't remember the people who did the artists, but they are renowned artists.
So Mando says there's a special version with yellow on the head and a normal version with no yellow. That's the only difference, right?
Yeah, and the wings.
Right, and the wings. Yeah,
and the color of the special effects.
Pete, that skull needs to be turned to what is it? I haven't got my glasses on. Akator.
Akator. Indy 4. There you go. It's
wow. That didn't take long at all, did it, Pete? To tell you the truth, that's not.
I mean, that's part of it's just putting in like the 5 missiles in the mouth there. Oops, let me get over the camera, and then the death breath, if you want, and then you've got the guns firing effect.
It truly is impressive. That is impressive.
And so you go around the back,
yeah,
and there's room for a pod, a la kind of Carbonite Han Solo, that slides into here. I'm not sure, Dave. Is it upside down, right side up?
You should have, if you look at one end's got like detail on it and the other one doesn't, so the one with detail have hanging out yet. There you go.
There you go. So now you can put a figure in there like you're taking Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt, if you wish. And it did come, like I said, we've been talking about the drones. There's the drones. So I've got I bought a 3-pack of these, when they were first initially offering them.
Yeah, I think G-Force did it. Joe Fest too, he bought some of them. So,
and Matt the Kraken, if you follow him on Instagram, he's been making little mouton heads to fit on here. So you take the skull off and put a little mouton head on there. So
what?
Yeah, just really cool. There you go.
John, I was just looked on the Skeleton website, and €250 is not a bad price at all when you consider it's not bad at all. That
Shabby, there's your mouton head version of the. Where are we? There you go.
Oh, there you go, Pete. Look.
There you go.
Yes.
They are. That is cool. That is really cool.
Okay.
Oh man.
Cool.
Gubs asks, do we know how many were produced of each?
I have no idea, but I just think it's awesome that you can still buy one if you want.
Yeah.
It's not one of those like, oh, sorry.
I think there were a couple of thousand backers.
Wow. Okay. So it did well then. Did all right.
Here, put me on the regular camera.
Regular camera. Right there.
There you go.
Wow.
I mean, it is ginormous.
Smile, Pete. I'm going to take a photo of you two.
It looks just like me.
So your overall thoughts, Pete?
That is a quality toy, and it's you know, it's got a lot of cool little features that they've put with it. I like the fact that the mouth can drop down and fire missiles. That's way cool. That's not on the original there. And then you've got the chin lasers. Oh, there's just something about the guns and the eyes. That's always been one of my favorite features from the vintage.
You can tell it's not an actual reproduction of the original. It is different, but it has the same elements, doesn't it? It really has.
It's definitely, they're brothers. They're just not twins.
Just badass looking. It just looks super cool. It really does. Yeah, I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed.
There's the backside with all the engines.
Any nitpicks at all for both of you? Any nitpicks that you think they could have done better or weren't happy with?
My only nitpick, which I mentioned before, is the wings. I wish you could.
Yeah, the wings are a booger to get on there. That's let
I
alone
to detach them.
Yeah,
are they on a ratchet clank or do they just? How do you do it now? Then is it on a clank or is it just click?
Just clicks.
Right. Okay.
Yep. There we go. One more. Yep. So now we're kind of back to.
It's nice that they've kept that element that you can land it like that, if you will. I mean, that's cool.
I'm definitely going to be hanging mine. I think overhead. You
are? You're going to hang it? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Now I hang stuff from the ceiling, but I don't know if I'm going to hang the Mark II.
That is just. It's
maybe.
It's got some heft to it.
Yeah,
maybe.
I like that cockpit. That is.
Yeah.
And you're right. Once you learn that you just squeeze the two sides right here, boom, it opens up super easy.
Are you going to keep yours primarily for 3 3/4 inch then, or are you going to change it to this? Yeah, I think it is there for that because 6 inch will look cool with it, but 3 3/4 inch will make that thing look huge. You know what I mean?
That's where my heart is.
Yeah.
So Pete, the couple of features on the 3 3/4 inch seats that you may or may not be aware of. So the figures obviously come with guns. So on the side of the seat is a little peg that you can attach your gun to.
Oh yeah.
And then also on the side of the cockpit, because they also have backpacks, the figures, the backpack can slot into a hole on the side of the cockpit.
So what happens when you get professionals on, Skeeves? What happens when you get professionals on?
Yeah,
I mean, little details like that is so cool.
Yeah, it is. I agree with that.
There.
Wow.
And it's got good cockpit, sticker details in there.
Connor says, seeing as though Davis dipped his toe into modern, has he been or seen or been tempted by the Order of the Crimson Moon line?
No, never heard of it, and I doubt I will get into it.
Well, you say you doubt, Dave, but now we're all doubting you to take the Kieran says, those yellow highlights make it look even more amazing. Curse you, Scuba Pete.
We can still get one, Kieran.
Absolutely, but I'm absolutely blown away by it. I mean, I was when I saw it, to be honest, but now I've seen you lads, on it and so forth. I think it's just brilliant. Totally agree, Kieran. Hit the buy button.
Buy button, you muppets.
I am tempted. I tell you what, I'm.
Oh, and it does have. Sorry, I set this aside. You've got a sticker sheet to augment it if you wish.
Would you put them? Did you put them on yours, David, or did you leave them off?
No, I left them off, and those are actually glow in the dark as well, Pete.
Oh.
So because the original, if you look on the original,
the original
wings, there are. Spin this round. These are glow in the dark. So that's
just like we were talking.
They kept that feature.
Yeah.
So does it absolutely? Is the size huge compared to the original? Then it's just twice the size, is it? Or
yeah, I'd say it's a good twice.
Let's have a lot. I think. There we go.
Oh, God, this is heavy. So this is the non-SE version. So it's the red with the standard black wings.
Yeah.
So I picked this one because obviously it's more akin to the vintage. But there's your.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Yeah, much bigger.
That's what she said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's quite a big difference in size.
And if you can just hold yours up with Scuba's, then if I put you right next to Scuba here, then we can.
You can see the two variations. Yeah.
See the two variations. This has been great. I've loved this stream. Wow. It does make it look a bit different as well, doesn't it? The yellow one. It does make it look like a different shape.
Look how synchronized we are. We could be demo dollies, Scuba.
Welcome to Pete and Dave's QVC. Today is the Roboskull Mark II. Operators are standing by.
I might have to buy 2, open one and 1 to grade, says Kieran. So Kieran's
1 to grade.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'll tell you where it is as well, because they'll both David and Scuba. This is it right here, and you can buy it now. It's in stock now. So
yeah,
that's actually a cool thing. That
way
because
cool.
You know, I think I was the same really. I'd never heard about this crowdfund until I'd seen it at Joe Fest Scuba, and then I went, oh, actually, and now you can buy it. Now you've seen everybody with it, and you've seen people like Dave's video, and you know your unboxing of it. I wonder if people are tempted now, because I've got to admit it's very tempting, that thing. It really is. Let's have a look. That thing looks cool, Pete. I need to watch Dave's video. You haven't watched it, right? You haven't watched Dave's video, have you, Matt's Collection? Wow. I cringed when I cringed when Vern at Oakhurst Studios broke the seatbelts in his new Dragonfly. Did he?
What? Oh, jeez.
Dear. What a shame. Oh, here we go. No, Mega J. That was Delta 17. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, because it's so. When we went, there was so many new lines, weren't there? Everything. They're all military or space based. Yeah. So I was like,
Delta 17's great.
It is really cool stuff. Taking Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt, that thing looks nothing like Slave One. I'd be cool going that though. Shall I order you one, Shabs?
Yeah. Go on, Si. Right. Go on.
Yeah.
Get yourself one.
I don't know which one to have though, because I've got to agree. It looks different. This is just my opinion, from the yellow to the red. But with me, I don't know, because the red, I understand what you say there, David. With the red, you're like, yeah, this is robot. The yellow makes it look a lot more badass.
Yeah, it does make it look badass. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Just seeing the yellow one tempt you at all, David? Are you quite happy with the one you got?
No, I'm happy with my choice. I mean, I seriously thought about getting both, and then I thought, no, you're just being stupid. So it's.
Did you say that, or did DCV say that?
No. Well, no. I thought about it, and I thought, no, look, you know what I'm like. I'm a vintage guy. I really want to try and get the one that sort of mimics the original. So I'm happy with that choice. Yeah.
What else could they do? Do you think they could do something else for actual? So in other words, let me ask you both a question. If they were to make another vehicle from the Action Force line, which vehicle would you like them to do?
Oh, good question. And I actually asked one of the guys, and they won't say a word, but I think they will do more, because they are a company, and I think they'll want to be around for a while. So
sure,
I do believe that they'll continue making stuff. I suspect it will be around, additions to the Roboskull. Like, for example, there is they're producing some armor that you can buy that sort of goes over the skull. So I pre-ordered that.
Did you just see that glint in Scuba's eye when you said that?
Yeah.
You just went.
Yeah, Scuba's like, oh yeah, I want some of that.
Well, gotta go. Thanks for having me.
But I do think that they may extend. Like we said earlier, I don't know what the licensing deals are that they've got in place and what have you. So I suspect that may limit them. But as a company, I would be looking to be building more stuff in the future. So who knows? Who knows?
But what about you, Scoops? If you had to pick a vehicle, so it's up to you. So Skeleton, I've come up to you and said, Scuba Pete, choose an Action Force vehicle.
Sea Lion.
The Sea Lion. Which one was that? You talked about the Sea Lion a few times. Which one was the Sea Lion?
That is it's the submarine, and it's got the claw feature on the front.
Oh,
double cockpit. Yeah, I'd have to dig mine out. But
yeah,
be it you know, still a teams thing or not. Maybe it would be cool if they did it as a bad guy team, you know, in red and black. That'd be badass.
That would be awesome. I can imagine Dave's currently lives in the middle of his lounge coffee table. I don't think so. Use £30 test slide, Scuba, if you're going to put it on the roof.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Stu. Can't stop, he's at work. No, it's nice to see you. John O says, considering how big 6 inches vehicles are, the amount of them that seem to be coming out, items that cannot be safely taken apart really needs to be addressed by the manufacturers, in my opinion. That goes back to what you were saying before about the wings, then, gentlemen. Would you have preferred it if you can take it apart, or?
I think it's a big flaw, and I wonder if the team discussed it before they released it. I think it may be possible to get those wings off, but I think you're risking damaging it. And the problem is you've got this amazing packaging. You've got, I mean, you saw Pete undo all that sort of those, you know, plastic trays and all layered.
That was cool the way they did that. Yes, sir.
And then you've got this beautiful box, but you can't put anything back. You can't put it back in.
No, it's like one and done.
What? So to me, that's a major issue for me. They did respond to my video on that because I raised it in the video. I may go back to them and say, look, I've tried and I'm too scared to try and pull the wings off because I think it'll break.
Can you send someone round?
Yeah, send someone over. But I have noticed that there are screw holes on one side of the skull.
Right.
And I believe you might be able to take the thing apart. Now, I might be the first person to put out a video of a dismantled Mark II Roboskull.
Oh, no. And then a restoration video after that. Yeah, you're thinking, Dave.
With a plea to Skeletron saying, I've broken my Roboskull.
Please, sir, may I have another?
They're like, no. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And your video a lot. Well, you did say I couldn't take.
But I think I'm going to get back in contact with him and just say, look, I'm trying. Are you sure that? Yeah.
Before I wreck it, are you sure? Luke's here. Hiya, Luke. The controls in the cockpit are really nice too. Is there a way you could put lights in this sort of thing? Would you have liked to see like the Dragonfly and so forth? Would you have liked to see lights in it?
It's got, you know what? There is enough room in there. You could get creative with some of the micro LEDs.
Yeah.
I think you only need one LED in there, and that would light it up really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chris, nice to see you, buddy. Chasing 80s.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Everyone's turned up to see. I mean, I've got to admit, I am impressed, and it was, you know, I'm not going to take Simon's offer because there's loads of stuff I need, but I tell you what, it's very impressive. I'm very.
So Shabby, if you had a choice between the Dragonfly or the Mark II, which one would you go for?
Mark II, I think. I think I would. Dragonfly holds no. Even though I can't remember, David, whether I had the Roboskull or not, it's part of my history. You know, it's a British thing, isn't it? And you know, and so the Dragonfly. I remember I've only just recently watched about 6 months ago the G.I. Joe cartoon. So I think it's impressive, that Dragonfly, and I really like it because I got up to about 100 collecting the G.I. Joe, and then Scuba and Jeff got me involved in the cartoons, and I've loved them. I've absolutely loved them. I can see through 49-year-old eyes what it meant to all these Americans as a kid. And Dad said something before about if Star Wars hadn't come along, I would say the same thing about Joe. So that whilst that Dragonfly is unbelievable, and I like the way it all lights up and so forth, the cockpit, that thing just blown me away. And I think, not to harp on, I think it goes back to I've never seen anything like this. Dragonfly's a helicopter. Do you know what I mean? You can get it, and it's awesome. Don't get me wrong; it's super cool. But that thing is ridiculous how good it is. Yeah, it does. I agree. It looks rad. So, you legends, pal. Oh, Phil's here, right, Treasures?
Like you feel like you got your money's worth. I don't feel like I got gypped.
Was it worth the wait?
Yeah, it was definitely worth the wait.
Yeah.
It's quality, and the wings also, Pete. The wings, obviously on the original, they're transparent wings, and they've really replicated that well. It's kind of smoky, transparent,
very smoky translucence to it.
That's cool too.
You know, like those fold in.
How does that structure feel when you put it down on those?
Feels solid.
I wouldn't.
I mean, I wouldn't
have mine on there
weight.
because I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't put them on there permanently. They do have a flight stand which I've now ordered because I wouldn't leave them on those.
Yeah,
So
I could see
get
where
a stand
that
for it too.
over time
That's
they
cool.
Yeah, there is a stand, so I've ordered that because I wouldn't. I don't trust those little spindly things. It does wobble a bit on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
It's
So
gonna look great
treasures is
hanging up. Hey, Phil.
A skull out of hell. It is though, isn't it? Did they have, well, I'm not sure because he grew up in New Zealand, didn't he? I wonder if New Zealand and Australia got Action Force. Because I think out of all the countries, Australia and New Zealand tend to got the same stuff we did, David. Do you not think?
I don't think so, because I sent Scott an Action Force figure and he was like,
Crusher.
I don't know what this is. So I don't know if I had them or not.
Scott Crusher, is that
Scott
David?
Crusher, yeah, not in Oz.
Right,
yeah.
Okay.
What a brother.
Oh yeah, I don't like taking advantage of our silo because he always
Maybe I'm thinking,
so.
maybe I'm thinking it's the international heroes. You know, Australia did have those. The GI Joes.
Okay. Thank you, Scoobs. So they had the international heroes, not the GI Joe. So was GI Joe just primarily America then, Scuba, and Canada?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that. There's a bit of beep. Oh, it's finished. Thanks, Pete.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Scuba's heartbeat after opening up the Roboskull.
Come on, where's the thing? It's an apple. Come on, camera.
That was pretty good. That was really good. Let's have a look. Sea Lion would be cool, says G-Force. Hi, Rhino. Nice to see you, buddy.
Hey, Rhino.
An updated triad would accompany this nicely. Would you agree with that, boy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Triad fighter would be
whichever vehicle they come out with, they have to also have a line of figures, right, to go with it. Because what I think works well is it's not just a Roboskull. You do get, there are like 4 or 5 figures that they've produced, and there's more to come. Like there's 6-inch versions to come out. So you know, you need those figures to go with the vehicle.
But there's definitely another vehicle coming, Dave.
Well, I don't know.
You wouldn't say.
No one knows, right? No one knows apart from Skeletron. But my assumption is that they would be wanting to produce more because they are a company at the end of the day. So
yes,
I don't think they can just live off the Roboskull. So I suspect that they'll want to produce more in the future.
Got you. Kieran says, forget vehicles. I want a modern version of the Action Force Z-Force Command Center. That would be cool.
That would be huge as well.
Or a massive
Z-Force
APC.
Yeah, APC would be cool. Yeah.
So reading the Red Weasel file card, he's from, oddly, Rochester, Minnesota. I've been through there. And there's the quote, you know, like G.I. Joe, they always had the quote on the file card. This one says, there are 2 things this ace pilot never misses: his target and afternoon tea.
Scuba, I just realized something. I think you get a different driver for your SE than you do from the standard one.
Really?
Yeah, because the figure I had as the driver was like a Bob Breakin figure. It had the Bob Breakin head on there.
You were saying he's got the beard and so forth.
Yeah.
Was that Blood
I don't remember him being called Red Weasel.
Because Red Weasel sounds very G.I. Joe-ish, doesn't it? Weasel.
Yeah, we had Wild Weasel that was the pilot.
Can you grab yours, David?
Figure now.
Can you grab it, or is it?
I'm gonna.
Dave, can you grab your figure, or
it's packed away at the moment?
It's not in the loft, is it? Because you'll never get out of there. So
no, it's in the box, which is in the box, which is in the box.
So what we're saying is, as a Shabby Geek exclusive, that their figures are different. Is that what? Because you would have known that, Dave.
I think they're different figures. I think they're different drivers or pilots.
Yep, just make him bigger sec.
Ooh, there we go. There we go.
He's got brown hair, Dave, and a beardy kind of thing. Not a
beard. Yeah. That's a different figure. I don't remember him being called Red Weasel. What was he called?
Blood Wolf.
Blood Wolf? Yeah, Blood Wolf. That's right. It was that.
Yeah, there's 2 at the. If I flip that around. Ooh. But yeah, they're both at the top.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Right.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Sorry. Gosh. Duh. It literally tells you like Mark II SE, you get Red Weasel, and then the Mark II Standard, you get Blood Wolf.
Blood Wolf, yeah. Because the original, Shabby, the original pilot was
here we go.
Red Wolf.
Yeah.
So that's
which is a great Palatoy. Oh, yeah, so cool.
I mean, come on. If that doesn't remind you of a particular Star Wars figure, then what does?
Yeah, TIE fighter pilot straight away. Yeah, that is awesome.
So yeah,
so will you be able to buy the other figures individually then, David? So in other words, if you wanted the Bob Breaking kind of one, Scuba, would you be able to get it individually, or do you have to buy that Roboskull to get that? Are those figures exclusive to those sets? That's what I'm saying.
You know what? I don't know, and
I don't know.
Now that we're not using the other camera here.
I want to be able to buy another Bob Breaking figure because I didn't want to rip mine off the card. So I did have a look, and I didn't see him on there separately, but doesn't mean it won't happen.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Scuba's reading that side says, yeah, sold it to me, fellas. I think I'm going to order the red one. Get the Monster Force red shadow and go with it. I'll have it, no problem.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Si, can you say that VTR Dave sent you, and then hopefully get a discount or something?
Just tell him you're good pals with VTR, Si, you'll be fine. He's that robot. It is so rhino, isn't it? It's huge, man. Dave, if you take it apart, you will need to watch your back as Toy Pulloy will be out to get you. Oh, brilliant. So,
it doesn't.
I said it is.
It doesn't look like you can buy them separately.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Which I'd really like to have that Bob figure.
Yeah, Jono's very tempted as well. It is so, isn't it? I've got to admit, watching this back and see the
yeah. So
I think you two sell it with your passion. Do you know what I mean? That you really like it. So
for the US, it's $249.99.
Yeah.
For the standard version with Blood Wolf right now. Yep, you can add it to your cart.
$249.
Yeah, $250. $250.
So if you bought the US version, that would be just over £200. I mean, that's a good deal. If you look at like HasLabs and stuff, it's not a bad deal, is it?
Yeah, it's not $560.
Yeah.
Oh, so I could get Redburn to buy it for me, and it'll be $50 cheaper, and just send it to. They are side. Send it easy.
The wicked web.
My Dragonfly is still in the box. Once put together, you can't remove the body, so I skipped doing it for now. So I've got Dave's invitation with the wings on this.
Right on. Okay, Connor.
All jokes aside of it, I can see that, because if you were moving or whatever, or you just wanted to put up, we were talking before we came on about I'm doing my toy room up as we speak, and the same as the Eternia, it's all screws in it, and you can't, you know what I mean? You can take it apart, but it's a bit of at least you can do it, but. Yeah, that's funny that the wings don't. Well, they said it does. So, Jono, we have a pact. No 6-inch vehicles. Skeletron is a figure G4, so it's all good, right? Okay, thought you were bailing me out. Oh, hang on, then just having a practice. By Dragonfly stayed in the box for the exact same reason too. Yeah. I don't recall seeing Action Force, just G.I. Joe. Right, okay, Phil. So Phil remembers Joe's. Yeah, that is interesting. No room G-Force vehicle would be more awesome than the 89 Batmobile. I still haven't opened that. I bought that at Joe Fest, the big McFarlane.
Yeah,
one.
You got that for a great price.
Great price, $60. That's all he wanted for it. And I still haven't opened it.
He was like 6 years old running down the aisle.
Yeah. I just thought it was, I'll probably give it RSI. I just want to know. Have you ever done it where you just go, oh, I love it. Then you buy it, you think, what am I going to do with it? I will say 6-inch large vehicles, Trouble Bubble and Ferrets don't count. Wasn't the Action Force figure Red Wolf?
Yep. Yes, you were right. Yep.
Right.
It is indeed. There he is.
What about the Fang, though, G-Force? The Fang.
Oh, Fang, the small tow helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool.
Bit late for that. Bit late for that. As long as they get on it and it's not okay. Were you always going to open yours, David? Because you wrote to me and said, I open it. I think
I was always going to open it.
Yeah. Because I've seen lads with the Eternia Scoobs and they haven't opened it, and I'm like, what the France? What's the point?
Some people are probably sitting on that.
Yeah.
Just as a investment.
Right, got
would be my, they can enjoy it in its giant box, glory, but obviously you can double your money. I think right now on it, so maybe they're just going to live with it for a decade and then go, hey, is it worth $2,000? Which is not me. I want to have my paws on it and mess with it, but do little setups.
Scuba's a rock star. If he wants a blood wolf, he's going to get one. What's a blood wolf? I'm not sure
That's
about
the figure that came with Dave's.
Yeah.
So that figure's called Blood Wolf then. Yeah, that's surprising that. I wonder if it's for you to buy both of them. I wonder. I don't know. Well, let's see. I need to buy a couple of those. So right, well, you just asked me a question because I thought you'd already at least ordered two of them. I did. I thought you got them.
A couple. But surely George needs 5 at least.
To start off. Did Carol back it? Did Carol get one? Or
I don't think you did. Did you, Carol?
I'm just trying to see if anybody else in the chat actually did one too. People are selling them on eBay for 500 quid, which is weird because you can still buy them on the actual site.
It's preying on that uninformed FOMO,
Yeah.
People are selling the Roboskull for 500.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
They did that with the Eternia though. When we backed Eternia, they were on there for about $2,000. They were like, you can still back it. It's like, don't make any sense. Hello all, New Zealand got a G.I. Joe 3.75 as I know. So I had a Cobra Commander as a kid and Commando Mags. And I know I had Action Man as a kid. Right, I PGM. So Action Man was sold in New Zealand. Right, okay. Interesting.
Didn't we all have those Commando Mags?
Wow,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Just a couple, George. Thought you had ordered at least a fleet of them. Everyone shot me.
I was just wondering whether PGM's Action Man was like with a Lord of the Rings outfit or something.
Imagine Hobbit style.
Yeah.
So I say hello to PGM. Everyone say hello to PGM. People always sell HasLabs and other Kickstarters on eBay for stupid money. It's a shame, really. I mean, I understand if you bought 2 and you want to pay for it and all that, because I've seen a lot of ghosts go up without the figures. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're taking the figures out and they're just selling the ghosts.
Yep.
So
would you buy a ghost without the figures? I never quite understood that. Why do people really buy the ships without the figures? It seems odd, doesn't it?
I would. To tell you the truth. If I go on eBay to find vintage,
small slice of folks.
Yeah. Because you think, how much could you sell it for without those figures? Because I think when it comes to vintage collection, it's the card backs, and that's the biggest seller for that toy line. And I think there's got a couple of TVCs in the chat, and I think it's the card back. So I don't know really. And how much would you sell it for without the figures? How much was it? 350? No, it was more than that. One it goes about 4 or 5. I don't know. I have the Cobra Rattler and the Ramen Toys van to look forward to. When I got that Ramen, honestly, Rhino.
I've got that.
Have you seen some of that stuff, VTR? The Ramen Toys stuff.
I haven't seen the Ramen Toys one. No, obviously I've seen the Valaverse, the Vanguards. That looks like a really cool vehicle.
It's a great vehicle.
Yeah,
that was beautiful too.
See our live unboxing on Shabby's channel.
Actually, there's an unboxing of the Valaverse vehicle on this channel, David. Thanks for that segue, Dave.
Yeah, because I got the 2. I don't know if no, actually, there's 3 versions on there of the Vanguard. There's the desert one, the grey one, and then wasn't there a pink version as well?
Yes, there is.
Pink one's that one's like a special, hard to get, but you can also get the muddy versions of the grey and the tan.
Oh, there's muddy versions. Wow.
Yeah, the muddy version is kick butt. Like if I'd known that was the option, like you had your choice, I would have went muddy because it looks really cool.
But
just come back over to the UK. Come back over to the UK with your Vanguard, and we'll make it muddy for you.
Okay.
Could you not get it over there? Can you not get the Vanguard in England?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you could have ordered it and got it shipped. Yeah.
But like what Rhino said, that Ramen Toys, the tanks and stuff they were doing in there. Oh, and that 18 van, the bread van in it.
Oh, is it the 18? Is it 18?
Yeah, it's the 18 van.
It's the 18 van. Yeah.
Oh.
You can go on and throw a deposit on it, Dave. It's for 6-inch scale.
Is it for 6-inch? So you can use the old 18 6-inch figures in there? Or
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And it's but they call it the bread bin. Just they did the Dukes of Hazzard, the General.
Of course they can't.
That blew me away. That blew me away. I mean, I've got to admit. I mean, and that's one thing going about the Vanguard live stream that we did. The prices on these, and it's the same as this Mark II. I'm impressed with it. Jono said it before. 250 for that. I mean, It's funny now, we've got to an age in it in our generation, but we're looking at toys for 250. That's a good deal. That's not
half a car payment. It's great.
See Dave's face, he was thinking, bugger, I could have doubled my money.
Well, this is why I think people do this, right? Because they buy multiples, and I do believe that they want to sell off some and essentially pay for the one that they've got, right? So they get it for free. I assume that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to do that, doesn't it,
Yeah.
really? But
when you see what the katana sells for, which I mean is the gold standard of the HasLabs and for what it's appreciated to. I don't think the others have, you know, you can pick up a lot of those other HasLabs still for fairly reasonable price. I mean, you're gonna pay more than what it was originally, but not like that katana is where you're just like, oh,
beautiful, all that. I mean, I tell you what, of all the Star Wars ones, I wish I would have got it. It was that katana. That was, I mean, it was the big one, wasn't it? And so iconic. The Rattler is insane, Rhino. 3 foot by. Have you any of you ordered the Rattler? Have you got that, Scuba Pete? Coming? Right, because I know you did the Sky Striker, didn't you, Scoobs? You got that?
Yeah, which is the small 3 3/4 version. And I sold off several of the carded figures. I kept the Scarlet figure and the Cobra ground crew guy, but I've sold off the others to people who wanted them because I was like, I have a real Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. This one's modern. You can, you know, and it's not like I marked them up to silly price, like, you know.
Really, you missed that. Right?
We were at a toy fair and the guy's like, what if I got them all? And I'm like, you know, take them all.
Fair enough. Yeah.
$50.
I buy a big one. That's why I'm leaving the Ghost box as its display takes up at least. It's massive, that thing. I mean, it is huge. I opened my Ghost and kept the figures carded. So there's another. Yeah, I think you would with that, wouldn't you? Yeah, that looks crazy in Stu's unboxing video. I saw it. Just, I know he's a small chap, but holy cow, I know he's a small chap. But holy cow, that was big. To answer your question, VTR Dave, I bet you look good in a curly permed wig.
Oh, brilliant. Love it.
Scuba, that Stormtrooper helmet is the wrong way. It needs to be facing up. It's the wrong way. It needs to be facing up. Oh, it means in your cupboard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so yeah.
I wondered what he meant then. Skeletron are making 6-inch vehicles for the robot, so they are doing the 6-inch.
Yeah, they're doing 6-inch.
Are they doing the same ones as the 3? Because I know it comes with both of them, doesn't it? So they're doing it for both, or?
Yeah, they're doing 3.75 inch, 4-inch, and 6-inch figures. I don't know. I can't remember which 6-inch figures they're going to go for, but there's 2 or 3 of them that they're doing.
And you can only buy them online, VTR. You can't go into a store and buy them.
No, I believe it's just online.
Right now.
Okay. If Hasbro pulls the same shit as the Dragonfly, I'm not clicking the wings into the Rattler. Right, okay. Why are the wing? Is something a bit dodgy with the wings on this Dragonfly?
Well, Connor was saying you couldn't pull it apart again, like the.
Oh, you couldn't pull it apart. Thank you, David. The Rama toy vehicles look really good. Yeah, they were honestly to see them in like I said, live as well, and to see them there, they were dead impressed. Usual Mike showed a guy that bought 12 ghosts.
What?
It's still taking
12 ghosts.
When he went, only 12.
The 6-inch figures are a pre-order right now.
Here we go. Shabby on UK eBay sellers are offering the Ghost without figures for around £400. Some sellers are offering just the figures for around £350.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy, Kieran. That is crazy.
That's mad.
Katana does look proper epic. I'm waiting for Dino to do a giveaway.
This is cool. The 4-inch Skeletron figure.
Oh yeah, that's pre-ordered.
Yep, I'll be doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna be.
So it's best to go for Valaverse and Skeletron, isn't it? If you want more of the action, because it's like, and Monster Force, I suppose. They're all kind of dipping their toe into it.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah, that's
cool. Like I say, it's really popular right now. It's and I think because of that US market, that's why a lot of this is springing up.
Wow, I find it harder to find an E-wing on eBay than a Ghost. Right? Okay, The Ghost is absolutely massive. Yes, it is, Matthew. I love Jabba, but I've never understood the love for his. But have you not, JT?
It's a brown shoe.
It's a brown shoe with sail. Didn't buy one then, JT. Didn't buy one. I know. It's iconic. I think it's really cool.
Can you imagine if it had the Adidas stripes down the side?
Yeah, like Adidas.
JT went, oh, I might buy one then.
I think it's, you know, I saw it for sale. I went, oh, that's $500, whatever it was, US. And I'm like, yeah, you know, and of course we still had a kid living at home, so I knew better. And, but seeing it now where people have done like big dioramas where they bought like a giant bag of play sand and made a Sarlacc pit. I'm like, oh, you're killing me.
It was 10 years ago now as well. It was 10 years ago that katana already. Where's the time flown?
10 years ago, wow.
10 years ago. Oh, no, 2018, wasn't it? I think it was 18. So, what, 7 years ago?
Okay,
so that's not 10 years ago. I mean, if you were Stu, I might forgive you, but come on. That's...
it was the first thing though, wasn't it? I think the katana was to get into all these things. And I wonder if things like Skeletron and everybody else has seen what HasLab has done and gone, you know what, we can do this. Because it seems to be, what I'm trying to say, gents, is there seems to be a lot more crowdfunding things now than there was 8 years ago, Dave.
I think there's, I'm not sure. There's always been Kickstarters and sort of, you know, fan-made stuff, right? Sure. But I think what's happened recently is that, as always with these things, you know, they've always, you know, the next thing's always got to kind of one up the previous thing. So
yes, sir.
I think at the moment we're going through a bit of a stage of, well, let's just make the biggest thing we can, and then people will buy it. And actually, maybe they just need to scale that back a little bit and maybe think about some of the detail and maybe some of those extra
features,
features like lights and stuff. Yeah, and because this, I think you can get too big, and that's what she said. But you know, for these vehicles, I think
PCB is going to come in and just
go. I think there's a point where for these vehicles where it just gets a little bit ridiculous. It's like, unless you're one of those guys on YouTube that's living in a mansion, has got a basement full of, you know, like large displays and stuff. For everybody else, what are you really going to do with these things? You can't keep buying oversized chips and put them in your house, can you? It just doesn't happen. So
no, I mean, I had to move all my RAM just for that. Do you know what I mean? So I had to change. So I understand exactly what you mean.
So I think size is overrated.
Were you ever tempted by him though, Dave? Is there ever, besides this Mark II, which, you know, there's a few people that we are surprised that you've bought it, Dave, being, you know, primarily vintage. Is there any of these HasLabs or any other crowdfunding that's come out that's made you go, I kind of like that?
Well, I have backed other crowdfunded stuff. So or, you know, some of Stan Solar stuff. I did buy the Stan Solar Bantha because the other one failed.
That's really good.
Yeah, great piece.
Probably the only other prominent modern stuff that I bought were the additional indie figures. So when they came out with the Indiana retro line, I didn't buy the ones that were replicas of the originals, but I bought the additional ones for the newer films.
Got you.
So if that, you know, in those scenarios, I will dip into modern, but it's very rare that I would do that.
You snagged those at Star Wars Celebration, didn't you?
I did, yeah. They were. I can't remember the name of that company now. All the modern folks,
they were going fast.
Yeah,
it was so funny because across the aisle or the giant hallway was the Hasbro booth saying "coming soon," and it's like, you just go over there. They got them.
Your Jake can ask, how many Roboskulls do I have to buy to get free shipping?
100 or
Brilliant. Scuba would need a hammer and chisel to repack it, Pete. Yeah, because Pete said, "Can you start all over again?" He missed the beginning of it. As we discussed, can't take the wings off.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I can see TVC collectors paying that much for the Ghost Crew. Well, yeah, I can, and it's those mural. They made the car backs. Like one of the lads just said, murally different, didn't they? So I can understand it. Right, we better get them out, Kieran. Here we go. 350 quid plus 600 is a deal if you just want the figs. It is, but when you're looking at that thing that comes with the figure for 250, you know what I mean? Just
and drones and you know, all the blast effects and.
Well, that's what I mean. You know,
people will pay what they want to pay. Right, it's a free market out there. Right. If there are people that want to pay that much money for those figures, because let's face it, the figures only come with that HasLab. So, if the market is there, then good luck to all of them. But personally, I think it's a lot of money for those figures. But yeah.
Well, talking about money, Dave, so I said I thought I was one that did magic. I watched this stream and 300 quid just.
Only 300. Hang on a minute, Shabby. Only 300.
Well,
so he's only bought one. So is that for himself or for you?
It'll probably be for. I wonder if Stu and Shabby were in the same maths classes. I was just trying to work it out. I remember it's about 2018, wasn't it? And it was massive. And I remember the katana and all that. Now it's just standard, isn't it? A lot of people do it, and so I know there has been a few who've been tempted by it. Not really by the Star Wars ones. The katana, I think, is the only thing that's really got me. But apart from that, I've not really been like. I mean, they're nice and whatever, but I wouldn't. But then you see stuff like this, a little bit out of the box and a little bit different. And
but also, Shabby, do you think it's because it's from the original trilogy? Do you think that makes a difference?
I think so, especially for our ages. I think one of the reasons why I didn't pick back the Ghost, granted, it's awesome to look at, and granted, I've loved Rebels and all that, but I haven't got a 500 quid nostalgia thing in me. Do you know what I mean? Eternia, when Sight, and Pete put towards that for me, that's different. That's something I've wanted since I was a kid and never got hold of, and the lore of it. But the Ghost didn't really have that for me. But for TVC collectors, I can see why they wanted it, sure. And especially, like I said, the most of these lads in this chat have just turned around and said about the car backs. It's the car backs that we wanted. And that, in a way, it's like the Ghost just comes with it, doesn't it? Yeah. You know what I mean? So we'll see. The Mythic Legion, I love Mythic Legion.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'd love to have got into them, but that is mega pricey.
6 foot long, really?
Have you not seen it? It's massive.
Oh my god,
Mythic Legions is beautiful. The first time I saw that was Matt Zero Hunter Toys got a night one years ago, and I thought this is nice. And I have seen a few of them at conventions that we've gone to and so forth.
I wasn't aware of that 6 foot long dragon. That sounds awesome.
It's massive, yeah. Shabby, your room looks 100%. Thank you, pal. Yeah, I'll do something. I've set up a new Instagram channel. I was telling Pete, I've got my Shabby Geek Instagram, but I've set up a new one called Shabby's Toy Room. So once I start making things for that and so forth, I'll be putting it on there and I'll share it all with you. But no, I appreciate that. Thanks, G-Force. Nice. Shabby was a magician along plot twist. Anyone here buying any of the Delta 7? I've got to admit, I know Pete got them, and those lads are doing a great job. They are nice, those, and the quality is really there, isn't it, Pete? With those figures.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I saw some of those on. I think it was Pixel Dan reviewing. Pixel Dan did a video recently showing all the kind of new modern O-ring toys that have been coming out. And Delta 17.
Can you grab a couple?
Yeah, please.
Some of them look really awesome.
Coming up.
Yeah. Man, some of those Delta 17 look really cool, especially the bad guys.
They were really nice guys. I got the comic off them, and Mega J Retro and Kempo and all the lads and the designers all signed my comic, and I thought that was dead sweet of them, dead nice for them to do. But it was the quality of the figures, because he had the figures on display, David, and they just looked really well made. I was really impressed by him. I thought, yeah, they're really nice. But I didn't know Pete picked I think G-Force picked a couple up as well. I'm sure he did. Hey, Milky Way. Oh, thanks, my friend. Yeah, it's nice having these lads on. Can't go wrong, can you, with VTR and Scuba, though? The Unicorn was the only one I wanted. Oh, yeah, that was massive, that thing as well.
Oh, yeah, that Unicorn. Oh, my God. Yeah, that was years ago. No, that was 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Well, I think it was about 7, Dave, but I don't know. Let's have a look. Here he is.
Hi. So, this is Death Sparrow from Delta 17.
Oh, look at that. Now, where's the inspiration for that come from, I wonder?
She is my favorite figure. I'm in love with her.
Nice.
Yep. So Soviet-ish troop. Out of the good guys, Rooster is my favorite. Here, I'll switch hands. Sorry.
Yeah, see what I mean, Dave? How cool are these?
Yeah, it's nice design on that.
And you got the antenna.
It's very G.I. Joe, right? It's very
very G.I. Joe adjacent. Yeah. Very nice sculpting. I love that head to toe camo. The weapons are cool. Little accessories. Let me get.
Do you have any of the bad guys? I saw some bad guys on Pixel Dance and they looked awesome.
There's the Red Okami bad guy.
Oh, look at that.
Wow, I didn't realize you picked up so many scoops. I didn't realize.
And I've got a couple more over there.
That's
How
nice.
much are they, Pete? How much were they?
They're very reasonable. I want to say they're $16, $18, something like that.
Same price as mine. That's
Really well
perfect.
done for the money.
You really are.
This was the one that was exclusive at the time for Joe Fest. I believe you can get him now, but I mean, look, just all the accessories for the backpack, all kinds of swords,
cool.
so you can really do them up. The way they did the ninja stars with the chrome paint on the legs.
Yeah, and those are 3.75 as well. Yeah,
3.75.
Yeah,
and then this is. Forgive me, I forget his name. I think it's Leonidas.
Oh,
so he's a good guy.
Yeah,
and he's got his, isn't it? That's a dreadnought. Come on,
kind of.
My legs look like that.
Like the tattoos on the legs, and he's got his puppy up there.
What is that? Easy? Is it attached to the backpack?
Yeah, and look.
Oh, that's cool.
Dog dish.
Oh no,
which comes off, and the puppy
That's
comes
awesome.
off too. I forget the puppy's name, but yeah, Leonidas. He strikes me as like a CIA operator, you know.
They are cool, really cool.
Really well done. So yeah, that's Delta 17. I believe it's delta17.com.
Shabby, don't pay any attention to the people taking the mickey at you for your math skills. Remember, there are two types of people in this world. Those who can't, I mean, three types of people in this world. Those who can't count and those who can't. I see what you did there, JT. Perfect.
It's all about the comedy timing, Shabby.
Oh yeah, I caught that. Maybe side goes mad. My eyes. I don't know what it is, David, but I've never worn glasses except for the past year.
You need to get some training from this guy, PGM.
And yeah, I need to put my glasses on. Are you showing your rubber toys on that Instagram, Tabby? Maybe, maybe not. Do you know what I mean? It depends. So I'm tempted by Delta 17, but I have to stay in my lanes. I think it's one of those, isn't it? They were really nice. The Marauders are really nice. Delta 17, there's a few of them that do a really good job.
Yeah, we're talking about Marauder. I think it's Marauder that actually do the Roboskull 4-inch figures at least.
Right, got you.
Yeah,
they've got a really nice
Marauder, I believe. Yeah.
LaCroix toys were there as well as Seth Green. I didn't know what Seth Green had to do with LaCroix toys, but they were there and they were doing some really nice stuff as well.
Yeah, he made some great stuff.
They had some lovely stuff there. Don't mention the unicorn in front of Tony.
It's arrived.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, so I got a little parcel from VTR Dave and DCB June. So he got me this bendy figure.
Looks just like you, Scoobs.
Right? Being aquarium clean.
Apparently, I looked him up, Scuba. He's from the 1960s.
That's awesome. I love it. And staying in the scuba theme.
What is that? Scuba Scout.
Dave, you want to fill him in on where this comes from?
Yes, I don't know too much about this. But when I was at the NEC just a few weeks ago, right at the end of the show, I was talking to the Leicester Vintage guys, and I spotted that box on their table, and I thought, I know someone who's going to like that. So I was talking to the guys about it. Apparently, this was bought from from Jonathan Ross. So that was in Jonathan Ross's collection.
Yeah, what was that, season 2 that they went to Jonathan's?
Yeah, something like that.
Is it like Adventure People, or is it what?
No. So Billy's bigger. He's about a. Well, here I'll slide him out.
Yeah,
slide him out. Super cool.
Yeah, so
a lot going on. So it's
and I'm like, so I was talking to Joe and that and saying, well, I'd like to buy this. They kept dropping the price for me, and they got to a certain price. I went, yep, I'll take it. That. And then I said, you do know this is going to go to America? And they went, okay.
And what year is this, would you say, Dave?
I would say it's the 60s again, maybe 60s or 70s, I would say. It's pretty old, I would imagine.
It is 69.
Yeah.
Wow. On the cusp.
Gabby's favorite number.
Was my favorite number.
But Shabby's always like 4 out.
So what you really mean is like 62, something like that.
There he is. So Billy has a motor in him, and he'll drive the propellers on everything else, like the boat and the little water car when you seat him in there. So he runs on batteries that are in that scuba pack.
That is awesome. Look how wide that boat is as well. It's still wide,
right?
I don't think it's been used at all. I think
Oh, I don't think it has
Jonathan
either.
Ross would have just kept it in the box.
But yeah. Got a little dolphin on the side. And there's the boat. You can see the little. Oop, sorry. There's
and it looks like you
propeller.
can actually use it in water. Then it looks like you can. Well, try it, Scoobs.
Chuck in the old aquarium over here.
Yeah, that's
but
awesome.
It's like you see that at the NEC and you go, there's only one person that comes to mind when you see that at the NEC.
Scuba Pete. Yeah.
It's like that's got to go to him. So
Milky Way
I'm glad it got to you safely.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. I've never seen that before.
Dave got me Colditz, the board game.
I saw size pictures.
Size.
Yeah, that was
Size done it.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I decided only to buy modern figures for new media and vintage figs for vintage media. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Manga Fandanga says, can we take a minute for a round of applause for Scuba Pete? For what? He managed to do a live stream without breaking. Snapping. I
think I'm like 1 in 3.
Oh, brilliant. Brewster's Mohawk.
Yes.
But Si, the live stream's not over yet. Yeah, that is cool. He's from Sparta, Pete. No job meets rock and roll. Yeah, that's what he looks like a little bit, doesn't he? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's have a look. Blimey, what chunky legs. Yeah. I thought.
Oh, yeah.
That looked pretty cool. Jonathan says those were crazy cool paint apps on the last guy. So much detail on a 3.75 figure. Yeah. If you ever got to see him live as well, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's
right.
And these were prototypes in 2023 at Joe Fest. So the fact in 2024 Joe Fest, a year later, you're actually buying them. It was awesome.
I know, I feel crazy. The place, let's have a look. The place set designed is to be used in the bath. Right, okay.
Or the hot tub or, wherever.
Well, there you go. There you have it. I think I can't believe how fast it's gone this. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. No, honestly, thank you both so much because, like I said, I watched Dave's video and I knew Scuba was getting it because I've been with Scuba, looking at it and seeing it. And then Scuba was gracious enough to once again open something on my channel. So I really appreciate that, Scuba. But I've got to admit, I think it's a 10 out of 10, that thing. I think it's well worth. And I think the money situation, like I said, I think it's well worth the money.
I think it's well worth it. You got what you paid for.
And I don't think there's and I don't think there's a difference. I've got to admit, I don't think if I had the one without the yellow or the one with the yellow, I'd be disappointed. I think they're both just as cool as each other.
They're both banging.
I think they're both really nice. There is an awesome black and white Scuba Scout TV advert available on YouTube. It has even had a young Scuba Pete in the back.
Oh, cool. I got to look that up.
Oh, I need to look that up as well.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, we've had over 40 all the way through it up till now, so it's been absolutely brilliant. I've got, I haven't. Our site set up a Return of the Jedi stream on Wednesday, and we've got about 9 of your favourite lads. They're all going to come in, and they're all just going to talk about our site's favourite movie, which is Return of the Jedi. So I've got that coming up. David, have you got anything coming up?
Let's see. I'm sure I'll be visiting a toy fair or two, but I do actually have a couple of videos that I recorded and haven't edited for. Why does he keep doing this now? That I haven't edited. One is actually a Toy SOS episode, which I fixed and the big tall alien I fixed for a guy who had it since childhood. So I've had it recorded, I just never edited it. Yeah. So I need to get that released.
You mean the Kenner alien?
The Kenner one. Yep. Oh, he had the Kenner 18-inch alien as a child in the UK.
What?
So he asked me to fix it for him. So I just need to edit that. So I've been sat on that for a long time. And also not this Christmas, but the previous Christmas, I got a 3D printer. So I've been messing around.
I got my daughter one of them too.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
So I've been messing around with 3D printing. I've recorded just a few little bits, but I don't know whether to do. I've got it all recorded, but I don't know whether to actually publish it or not. So anyway,
I'm surprised with your passion and stuff. You didn't get into 3D printing earlier.
David,
you know what I mean?
Is it more that what you did as a project that's keeping you from publishing that? Like you just 3D printed ET fingers? Is that what you're
talking? I could print those and sell them, I reckon, for quite a 250 quid a pop. Yeah.
VTR Dave's in everybody's bedrooms. Do you know what I mean? Look what I got. You know,
there's certainly a buzz about him.
You say that. I reckon if you 3D printed a load of, adult toys, I reckon you could make a fair amount of money out of that. But anyway, that's off subject. Yeah, so
Stream just got really interesting.
It sounds like you thought about that, Scuba.
Kitties to bed. It's Shabby after dark.
Yeah, you think selling your extra HasLabs can make money? Oh no.
Nothing on VTR. Nothing. Matt's Collection said great stream. Can I just say to Matt's Collection as well, happy birthday. Happy birthday,
happy
Matt's
birthday,
Collection.
Matt.
Happy birthday, yeah.
Dave, your fireworks are better than your fireworks for New Year.
No.
Hi, Steve. Good old Lord Melville. Hi, pal. Nice to see you. Top stream, fellas. Now off to tell Claire with 300 quid. Yeah, it's been awesome. Thank you both so much. And Pete, have you got anything coming up?
No, I need to work on a video. Or I want to work on a video. Sorry, not I need. I want to work on a video. Yep.
We have got the lovely Leslie though, and she's a lot better, which is good. So I heard saw a lot of people.
Thank God,
yeah, that's good, Pete. But she's got a ladies' night coming up.
Yeah, she's going to do a ladies' night coming up here very soon with her and Kat. And
nice.
Yeah.
Well,
get well soon, Leslie. Get well soon.
Yeah. Get well soon,
I'm sure the whole community is wishing you well.
Oh, see, this is one of the things that we were saying before we came on. This is when we're not full of shit, any of us, because when someone's not feeling too good, everybody comes out, don't they, out their word, and it's your right. And Leslie means the world to all of us, don't she? So I'm glad she's on the mend. I really am. Brilliant show, guys. Cheers, Shabby, Pete, and Dave. Cheers to all in the chat. Thank you all. Honestly, it's been awesome. I've loved it. Don't be shy. We love having you. Of course we do. VTR, Dave's actually been printed ET
toes.
Huge feet, that alien. Huge.
Shabby, you should jump. Oh no, I like watching the ladies stream. I like watching it. I'll sit there with my cup of tea watching it. So I bet Claire's wishing she didn't agree to have that joint blanket out. I mean, we're done. So thank you all so much for coming. Thanks for opening it, Pete. Thanks for joining in, Dave. I've loved it. So all right, we'll see you soon. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye,
See you, everybody.